I'm just laughing that we're both wearing stripes. I'm sorry, but like it just feels so apropos that we would have
Always.
some kind of simpatico something happening here. It is
Always.
hysterical.
Yeah, solids and stripes.
Those MSW,
I mean,
Yeah.
man. The
Solid
MSW.
hello.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, and it's so funny because the past like 2 weeks, Holly and I have shown up on Zoom and been wearing the same exact color until today. Today we broke the
That's
curse. but
hilarious.
Literally for like 2 weeks straight, it was like we were both in black, we were both in pink, and we were both wearing colors a lot, which was funny because both of us usually are like black or white, and we'd
No
show up in
kidding.
like orange. And we were like, this is so weird. We're both obviously testing new things in our closet
That's
on the same
wonderful.
days.
Yeah. So funny. All right. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to Get Mom Ready, where we talk about the tensions of managing life and work and all of the demands that every mom has. And so on this episode, we're actually going to do a year in review because at the time of recording today, it has been 11 months, like almost a year. We've been a community together trying to figure this out for over a year. We started having conversations May of 2025, which is crazy. I just had a phone call with somebody planning for 2027, and it just like blew my mind that we're already talking about 2027. So anyway,
No kidding. Wow.
yeah. And so I just wanted to unpack some thoughts. I have 3 learnings that I've personally experienced over the last year. And so we just wanted to reflect with that as we go today. So first of all, how's everybody doing on this Tuesday in July? Oh, Hannah and Meredith are both wearing stripes. We've talked about that a couple of times.
It's not uncommon that we wear something that is similar. If it's not a something over the shoulders, it's the same colored shirt. And today it happens to be that we're both in stripes, and it just feels too apropos. So if you are somebody who has watched this, you'll understand why us wearing stripes today. It's like, yeah, of course they are. Didn't coordinate it, just here they are.
Yep. Anybody else doing okay?
Oh, and in terms of how we are, I'm like, where were we headed?
Meredith is in between incredible vacations.
I am in between incredible vacations. I am recalibrating my nervous system from this morning. You know, when you just have men in your house and they're contractors, and all you hear out of their mouth is cha-ching, 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 and you're like, I actually can't. And then I can't with the small talk while we wait on the other contractor. I'm like, just go sit in your truck. I want to play with my kid and not have a stranger in my home. What'd you say?
What are you doing to your home?
We have to encapsulate the crawl space because, you know, we got all the mold handled, but we have to encapsulate it so that basically you're cutting off the head of the snake. Like you can.
That's what we're doing.
You have to. I mean, you really, especially in these humid areas where we all live, and I live in an older house. Holly, your house, I know y'all renovated it, but it's older, isn't it?
Yeah, half of our house is from 1938 and half of it is from 2023.
Okay.
And that's the problem.
Sure. So anyway, and here's the thing too, they're well-meaning by all means, but like, I don't care how the sausage is made. Does it look like on my face? I give a crap how you're going to do what you're going to do. I appreciate the knowledge base, but maybe ask me first, like, hey, if you're interested, I can go into the process. But no, we got to sit down at my kitchen table and let me know. And I can show you pictures. And I'm thinking, please, God, don't. But I have to sit here and be polite while my toddler eats breakfast and stares at you like, what's this guy doing here? Son, I don't know.
Meredith, I didn't know y'all were going through that too. Yeah, we should have we shouldn't. I'm joking.
We shouldn't. I don't want to talk about mold.
Have a podcast about mold remediation and encapsulating your attic.
You and Bob can.
Support.
Yeah.
Group.
Support group.
You and I can have the support group, and Bob can lead us through as an expert. I mean, at this point, I could be an expert, but I just said it's time for us. We've done all the other work, but that's only going to go so far until you encapsulate. And I was like, Scott, it's time. Ethan had a runny nose last week, and I was like, oh no, could be mold. Let's get this shit figured out. So I just said, get it going.
Yeah. Nope, you're right. Same way. We've been treating symptoms for 3 years, and now we're about to encapsulate our bank account.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Here's all my money.
Have you guys been having symptoms from mold?
Have we, you said?
Yeah, like physical health symptoms.
I have not personally. Elliot, it's hard to tell because, you know, he has already kind of has like asthmatic and bad allergies.
Oh, sure.
So we don't know. And then, but yeah, Iris's eye has been she's been blinking like I noticed it last Thursday, and she's been like, and so
almost
I'm
like dry eye.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
my child has a brain tumor. I mean, like
Oh,
the amount of
yeah.
catastrophizing that I do around her health is, Hannah, you and I should probably have a therapy session about it. But anyway, pretty sure, because Elliot helps me remember, that it was literally a week ago yesterday that we started running 2 dehumidifiers.
Uh-huh.
We
Oh,
normally just run 1, but we added a
okay.
we borrowed from a friend that's like a $3,000 dehumidifier. So anywho, I think it is dry eye. So the doctor said to like do eye drops for a week,
Yeah.
and if it continues to come in. But anyway, yeah.
God bless us in the old homes, in the mold, and living in the humid South is all I
And
have to
being
say.
moms.
And being
Yes.
moms, for
Yeah.
sure. But also, hi, we are the reason we're going to have healthy homes. I tell all these contractors, I don't need the jargon. I just need you to hear me say, I want my home healthy. I'm staying in it for the indefinite future. So get my house healthy. Thank you.
That
Yeah.
is so good, Meredith. And what a good reframe from to like that we are the reasons we're gonna have health. Like that's a healthy reframe for me, you know.
Yeah, I'm like, the money,
Yeah.
it will be what it will be, and we will have a healthy home for the indefinite future. And also like not nickel and diming, like, here's $1,000 to this HVAC guy. Can you put a dehumidifier down there and you have no idea if the job was done well or whatever, or this guy's gonna encapsulate or not encapsulate, like something with the boot and the vents and the blah 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 blah. I can't, and the joist. If I have to hear one of these words, I'm gonna start tweaking. I'm like, I can't handle it.
That's so awesome. So good.
Oh, anyway.
Okay, so do you want to jump into our kind of my 3? I bucketed them into 3 different things. When we think about a year of Get Mom Ready. So the first one that came to mind for me was the unexpected gift of weekly community and an isolating season of entrepreneurship. So, and I think back to a year ago, like July of 2025, I was 3.5 months into taking on clients full time, because I started April 1st was when I started taking on clients full time. And yeah, I mean, just like, and out of it, coming off of being let go from my full-time job that I was at for 4 years, launching, and, just the, that's a topic for another day, but just the vulnerability that it is to start a company and be an entrepreneur and all those things. So I did not like start Get Mom Ready to think like, I'm going to be lonely and I want people to talk to every week. But the beauty that has been the last year has just been having this anchor every single week to see your 4 smiling, beautiful faces and to walk through life together through our Google chat and through this, episode, has just been, it's helped me feel so much less isolated and I think something, have like, it's not focused on the Ready Network has been helpful mentally, to be able to have that, the ability, the gift to be able to do this and the community that came out of it. So yeah. What about you guys? Does that resonate?
Well, I think that's so true too, because being in private practice, like I'm all alone too. And so, yeah, it was always helpful to be like to be brainstorming with other people. And even when we weren't necessarily brainstorming about the podcast, I felt like I was always getting like, oh, business ideas or like, ideas that were like helpful for me in work. But it's like, it's having coworkers. Like
Yes.
have coworkers for years. And so like us being on that chat all the time was like, we're always bouncing ideas off each other, or like someone's giving another idea, or what, how about you do this? Or encouragement of like, oh, you're doing something like Holly, yeah, like when you're doing something for the Ready Network, or you're traveling, or you're doing, whatever, or even just encouragement in motherhood or things like that, because we would check in with like, oh, what's going on in your life or things like that. And so I think that, yeah, combating that, the loneliness of entrepreneurship and private practice for me specifically. But yeah, that was been so helpful.
I agree. It's funny though, because that point you just made, you put it in our chat and I read it, and then I thought about it again last night, and it put words to an experience I had outside of Get Mom Ready. So really quick permission to bring that context in here, and then we can, because I'm like, this is not really, you're going to be like, cool, not to do with Get Mom Ready at all. But I will say, because this is also a place where we kind of share our life stuff, it showed me like, oh, that's exactly, because I just wrote about this recently. So I'm kind of like still ruminating on when I was with Beauty Counter and why I held on as long as I did. And I did not need to be doing that for as long as I did. But my God, MM Wellness was just me. And when you have a team, I don't care how dorky it is that you join my team and like the whole MLM world, it is. It's like it just grows a shiver down your spine because of how icky it can feel. But there was such genuine connection. Like apart from like how the optics of it, there was such a tenderness there and such like a camaraderie there. It's the same thing we've had here where you're like, oh my gosh, and these other facets of my world, I'm heads down, I'm a solo practitioner, or I'm with clients, but I would love to have another person to talk about ideas with. Or when I was running MM Wellness, I'm like, gosh, this is just me. But when you have other people that are doing the same thing alongside you, it makes such a difference. And you're like, oh, this is so energizing. And so it's interesting because I'm like, I can't, for the Beauty Counter thing, I can't deny that there was so much goodness and grace there. It's just that because of that, it was like, disguise the fact that I needed to kind of move on a lot quicker than I did. But you can't like, you just can't put a price on that tenderness. And I think it's just the same thing is true here. But what I'm saying, Holly, is that you put word to that experience for me that was also very helpful. It kind of like helped me, yeah, just put word to that experience that I've been trying to wrestle with for a while. So thank you for that. But I would echo what Hannah's saying, that the weekly camaraderie, but also I think too, one of the gifts of this space, and I would imagine y'all would agree with this, is this idea that there is permission to be human. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
we're all momming in different seasons and maybe differently, but still can be the fullness of ourselves in the context of these relationships and, inside the context of the relationships we have here on Get Mom Ready. And that to me was such a gift. It wasn't just the camaraderie. It was that there was the ability to be fully you and celebrated for that without pretenses or someone trying to fix you or change you. It was just like, I remember the first time I told you all that Ethan was annoying me and y'all all kind of chuckled like, yeah, welcome to, because I'm the youngest, I'm the oldest mom with the youngest kid. So y'all had all been there before basically. And I was like, you guys, I think my perfect baby's annoying me. And y'all were like, yeah, and it was like one of those moments where it was like, oh, this is the sanctity and the magic of having this crew. In this particular crew, like, not just the medium of a podcast, but the particular souls here on this screen or on these screens, I think is what was super helpful. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true of like, I was able to learn so much from y'all, not because I asked questions about, well, how do you do this? Or what did you do when blah, 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 or even asking for advice. It was just like, as y'all are telling y'all's stories and processing through motherhood together, it's like I got glimpses of, ooh, I want to take that with me this week, or, and it's one of the few spaces where that happens, because in most of my motherhood friendships and relationships, it is me going and being like, I need help. Like, what is going on? And it's so fun. It's been so fun just to like come on screen, talk about what's going on, and not feel any pressure that there's going to be answers that have to be given or anything like that. It's just, we're all just walking through it together and getting to experience it together and take tidbits from each other without the pressure that any of us has to conform to any one belief of, motherhood or parenting or work or whatever. So yeah, love that.
Yeah.
It's so true. Well, that leads me to the next one. So I think, the original intention of all of this was building a community for not only us, but also the other moms, because that was, the thought behind Get Mom Ready was, I'm thinking back to the original walk that Hannah and I did like back in, I don't know, March or April of, it's probably April of, or no, sorry. Yeah, it's probably March actually of last year. But anyway, I was not seeing content that I resonated with from a mom's perspective. And so I wanted to see, like, could we create that and could we create community? But that leads me to the lesson that the second one is, it's been so challenging to figure out what is the right messaging and what is the content when our audience that it's intended for is such a busy audience, which is moms. And so I'm kind of opening this up for listeners. You know, we know who our subscribers on Substack are. We know who our Instagram, followers are. But for those of you who listen on our podcast, we might not know who you are because we can't see your name or your email. And so if you have any thoughts on this, we invite you to let us know. But it has been, even the name, like Get Mom Ready, we'll get ready for what? And we've tried really hard. Like, our intention is to not be prescriptive. Like, this is not a how to parent. This is not a how to get your kid to sleep or how to potty train, etc.
Right.
And I think we've struggled to answer that question. And so, yeah, we've done behind the scenes many hours of all four of us going back and forth and round on trying to answer those questions. And I've been surprised, as somebody who has 15 years of marketing experience, how difficult that has been. And yeah, so anyway, it's just
and
been
so difficult for like something that we're all living. It's like we are the people that we're talking about and talking to. Like, we're literally living the lives, and we all felt like there was this gap, and we wanted to, speak into it, and we wanted to try to figure it out together. And so I think that's what's so funny, because I think a lot of people are like, oh, I'm in marketing, but I don't actually care about the thing that, like, maybe I'm in oil and gas in the marketing department, or, but if I could just have a job where I was marketing something I really cared about, I'd be super fulfilled and I could figure it all out. And the first part is true. Like, it is super fulfilling to be figuring out the problem that you're actually living and that you're passionate about and that you care so much about, but it is not easy by any means. And so yeah, it's so funny how you just don't realize, like, the grass is always greener concept of, like, you don't realize how hard all the grasses are until you walk through them.
That is it. So who are you, listener? Who are you? And why? And honestly, bluntly, why do you listen to us? If you have, it's actually very helpful market research. So just humor us, please DM us or find us on Substack or make a comment in the Spotify, wherever. Just please let us know who you are and why you listen. It would actually tremendously help us.
It would tremendously help us. Because the other thing too that's related to this point is, I mean, yes, I'm sure the people who are giving me feedback are folks who are dear friends and would never say anything negative anyways. But when I ask for feedback from, dear friends, even friends who I know would be skeptical about listening to a mom podcast, all of the feedback that I've gotten has been so positive of, like, I see what you're building. I love that idea. That really resonates. Yet, even my closest, dearest friends do not listen to the podcast. And that has been very confusing for me to try to, like, figure out, and just to kind of, what's the word? Like, lift up the curtain. I don't know. Behind the
like look like whatever. Look
behind the curtain.
Or, whatever. Yeah.
Our original, like, business plan, if you will, was to launch with courses. So we were going to put together like a Get Mom Ready course. And then I will take ownership for saying, courses are dead. Because when we launched this a year ago, that was when Substack was really blowing up. I mean, it was like I feel like we were kind of on the early adoptive curve of Substack. And so I was like, oh, paid memberships is where it's at. And so then we decided to pivot to a paid membership, which we launched that and only had a couple of people sign up. And so then it was like, okay. So then we decided, hey, the original goal and intention in this is to just help provide community for moms. So let's, like, make everything free. And we did see our engagement go up to where, some numbers to celebrate. Not that it's about numbers, but numbers are an indicator of progress, right? So we didn't set out to say, here is our revenue goal and here is our followers goal and here, because we just didn't know. But yeah, 300 followers on 300 plus. I think we're at like 312 or something. I can't remember exactly, but followers on Instagram, 80 subscribers on Substack, 45 episodes published, and 2,500 total downloads. And so that's just amazing. And again, like, we didn't go into this having any sort of idea of, like, what it should look like. But it's been a challenge to figure out, like, what does community, belonging, et cetera, look like for moms? And is there a need for this? Or are we just adding to the noise of the busyness for moms? And I think we're still in the process of answering that question. So as Meredith said, let us know if you're listening.
Who are
so
you?
interesting. If you're out there, I mean, literally, like, please tell us. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts on that one? Otherwise, I'll move on to the third one there. No.
I don't think at the present. I had a thought, but it's left me. So if it comes back, I'll let you know.
Okay. The other learning, my third lesson, is just how fun and unexpected it's been to connect with strangers online. So I'm thinking about, Sam, who was on a few episodes ago, who's in New Jersey and is a working mom, who like reached out to us and loves our podcast, and we had her on. And then I'm thinking about, I can't remember her name right now. I wasn't on this episode, but you guys interviewed the mom with AI, and then, each of us have had different personal friends that we've brought on over the last year. And it's just those reminders of like, for all of the mess that technology can bring into the world, there is also the beauty of being able to connect with people all over the country and world that we otherwise would not be able to have conversations with. And so just so grateful for those of you who have, followed along, wanted to be a part of our journey, added value through being interviewed or partnering on Instagram content, whatever that might look like. But it's in those moments when I was pausing and reflecting, and I was like, that is so cool. We've had conversations with people that we otherwise would never be exposed to or connected with. And so I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. But that makes me think, and we don't have to do this, but y'all know I listen to Heather McMahon and I'm obsessed with her, my favorite comedian, but she just did an episode on her podcast where her and her team, the team that she tours with, her manager and her two openers and friends, all kind of talked about this last year on tour. And at one point they do a rose and a thorn and like their favorite shows and what made them their favorite shows, and like the thorn, and it wasn't anything crazy terrible, but like it's like you get a little bit of the behind the scenes, a little bit of the hot goss. You're like, what happened? What's going on? I don't know that we have any hot goss, but it would be interesting to do like a rose and the thorn, whether it's Get Mom Ready or podcasting or just like experience in general. Because as you were talking, Holly, I'm like thinking about some of my favorite episodes were those guest episodes, and like just like, oh, this is so like I just felt. I mean, that Mary Scott episode, even though I had to excuse myself halfway through because I had a screaming kid, it just was one of those times that just felt like we were in the pocket. The juju was there. Like, this is the stuff, you know what I mean? Because it was so human, so approachable, so relatable, self-deprecating, but like with some ownership. Like, it just felt like it was hitting a lot of the notes, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. So I don't know, it just kind of reminded me of what you were saying, Holly, of those episodes wouldn't be possible without technology. Sigh.
Sigh, technology. Well, I think I like kind of piggyback off of that. Holly, I think you're thinking of Shreya. She had the her
Moms Build AI.
Moms Build AI, yeah, which I connected with her originally, which is so funny.
Yes.
I'm the one that's like, I don't want to use AI for all these things. But I think like opening your eyes, like not only just like connecting with other people on the internet, but internet.
You're ready to get back to Texas.
Yeah. But like opening your eyes to things, like, having conversations with people and having them like change your perspective.
Yeah.
Or give you more information about things, or say like, yeah, it's not all black and white. Like there's a gray area. And especially, when it comes to AI, like there are spaces where like, okay, this could be helpful for these kinds of things to make more space for other kinds of things. And then also just the other flip side in that conversation of like, let's be in the middle of it so that we can, be on the side of change when it comes to it and our kids and things that matter to us. And I don't think I would have thought of that in that way. So I think, not only like meeting people that you wouldn't normally meet, but, or that wouldn't be like in your circle, but changing your perspective on things that comes from meeting more people.
Yeah. Which I think is one of my biggest like learnings or takeaways from this was exactly that, like widening my horizons of different perspectives on every topic that we talked about, right? But all of it's related to motherhood and identity and how we view ourselves and how we build our lives around what we believe. And I think it's so easy all of us are in our own communities, and often we have fairly like-minded communities, like
Sure.
to a certain degree. And so having the opportunity to have conversations, even with you guys, even like who, like we all obviously are mutual friends and all of that, but like I would have never heard of the different perspectives that I've heard, even from the three of you. And so anyways, I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and she found an old journal from high school, and she was like reading some of it to me, and she was like, do you remember, we're friends from third grade, and she was like, oh my gosh, do you remember when we used to like say this, and before there were emojis, do you remember how we used to type to each other like this? And every month I got in trouble for going over on my phone bill because it was like you could only have 200 texts a month or whatever.
Yeah, don't we know?
And all that stuff. And she was like, it just reminds me of all the emotions that I had back in high school that like I forgot about, and like all these dreams I had, which, was like the episode. Actually, that's not coming out, I think, until it'll be out by the time we release it. But we talked about the journal entries and going back and
Yes.
And how informative it is to write things down and then go back and look at them, because like our growth, we don't see it unless we go back and look at where we were. And often like our perspective can't remember the exact things that we thought and the ways that we felt unless we write it down. And so this podcast has kind of been a video version of that, where when I go back and listen to the very beginning, I'm like, wow, I have learned and changed my mind about so many of the things that I thought a year ago. And that's amazing. Like, that's so cool that all of these conversations have helped informed who I am now. And like, I would have never recognized how far I've come if I couldn't go back and listen to those conversations, So it's
Very
just been so cool. It's been like a video diary.
Yes. I love that. A video diary. You said two things, Anna, that just stuck out to me. The first thing you said at the beginning of you just sharing was like, building you said building a life around what we believe. That was really cool. I don't know, that just like stuck out. And then the second thing you just said, about changing your mind. We talked about that a lot at the beginning of our first few episodes were really about like, Hannah, you reminding us about like, what does it look like to establish our values, live by our values, and that our values are what we believe. And, I've been thinking a lot about that. Y'all know that I'm obsessed. Speaking of podcasts, like the only podcast that I listen to regularly is The Curiosity Shop with Brene Brown and Adam Grant. And they are on a break right now. And so they're replaying like different like interviews that they've had together, but not as a part of the podcast. Like she like went to Wharton and spoke to his class and they recorded it and like that kind of stuff. So anyway, they were talking about in the last one I listened to about how they've gotten so much good feedback from people who are like, it's so refreshing to listen to like people who we view as authority figures or like experts, like they're both doctorates of whatever, be willing to change their mind, because that's not something that we see a lot in our culture these days. It's like strength comes from being right and like standing firm, yet really strength comes from being willing to learn and to change our mind. And so yeah, I love that we've had that spirit, and that's really what Get Mom Ready has always meant to be about, is like not being prescriptive about a black and white way of being a mom or doing anything, but getting rooted and grounded in who we are, and having the confidence to live into that. So
yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. And I think not only like, is it a reminder, like Anna, you're saying too, and Holly, like it's a reminder of these things. I think us getting on the podcast was also like another reminder of like, oh, this is what you say is important to you. Like you got to keep doing it, And so I think that was always helpful, like accountability.
Yeah.
Accountability.
Yeah.
Yes.
Living out your values and like, oh, this is important to me. Like I do need to keep doing these things.
Yeah. So good. Okay, well, those are my three. I'll go do a quick recap. The unexpected gift of weekly community in an isolating season of entrepreneurship. The second one for me was unexpected challenge of experimenting with messaging and content that resonates with our busy audience of amazing moms. And then the third one was the unexpected connection to like-minded strangers online and just like the reframe of the gift that technology can be in this time to be alive. And so wanted to let everybody know that we are actually going to be pausing Get Mom Ready for a bit. This comes with lots of emotions. I'll just share my own. I have feelings of great gratitude, which I'll come back to in a second. And then also, which I don't know that I've shared this with you guys, but my word for the year was simplify. This is only the second year of my life I've ever done the word thing. Last year was gratitude. This year was simplify. And I was thinking about like why I've never been a word person and why the last 2 years, last year it was literally, and now I look back and I think it was a very spiritual thing where I just felt compelled. And then I lost my job 2 months into the year and I was like, oh, well, that's why gratitude was, thank you, Lord, for giving me that word. And then this year, and then what I noticed was like, as the year went on last year, when I felt confused or lost, to anchor back in that theme. And for me was gratitude in 2025. So then going into 2026, I was like, that was really helpful. What would it look like? And simplify was just the word that kept coming to me over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. And so there've been several things this year that have been like really hard decisions. One of them was, pausing working with my coach. Like that was a really hard decision for me that I had to make. And pausing Get Mom Ready is that in an effort to focus on really building the Ready network in this season and helping get that more predictable so that I have more financial and time margin to be able to invest in Get Mom Ready and other, ideas. So that's why, like where Meredith said a couple minutes ago, like if you're listening to this, we would love to hear from you, like truly an invitation of saying, help us shape the future of Get Mom Ready. Like what have you loved about Get Mom Ready? What has been super helpful? What do you wish was different? What do you wish there was more of? Or if there's something missing, like we invite you to share that with us, which you can do by emailing us at info@thereadynetwork.com. And if you're a listener and not subscribed to our Substack, we invite you to do that, not because people need another email, but because we post the show notes to every single episode that we do, and you can actually comment. Like there's a comment thread. You can even chat with us on Substack. We see all of that. And so that's another opportunity for you to be able to share thoughts, with us and just invite you into the process of what this could look like in the future. You'll see like different, there might be an article here and there as we're inspired or have margin, or there might be a podcast episode, but what we're pausing from is the weekly cadence. We've been putting out an episode every week for the last year, and we've been putting out at least one other article for the last year. And so we're pausing from having the expectation of ourselves of delivering that on a weekly basis as we figure out, what the next chapter could look like. So before I pause for y'all to reflect on all of that, I just want to say a massive thanks. It still blows my mind that you three said yes to this crazy idea, because I have like 15 million ideas a minute and most of them are horrible ideas. And so the fact that I was like, hey, what would this look like? And it was just like on a Google Doc, and y'all were like, yeah. And I know the sacrifice of not only time, but childcare and brain energy and, sharing it on your own Instagrams and like all of the things. Meredith, Anna, and Hannah, I'm so grateful for your investment over the past year, and your friendship and camaraderie and community, and your willingness to experiment and to be in the messy middle of it all, and to hear my voice notes when I'm freaking out, and all of the things. Just words can't express the gratitude for the last year. So thank you, Meredith, Anna, and Hannah.
Thank you, Holly. Truly though.
Well,
Yeah.
I wonder, I mean, should we do a last, what did you just call it, Meredith?
A rose and a thorn.
Should we do a rose and a thorn?
Sure.
Sure.
I'll go last because y'all know I'm like the least creative here as far as like that stuff. So y'all do your rose and thorns, and then maybe that'll give me some inspiration to follow in your pop culture references.
Meredith, do you want to kick us off?
No, I want you to kick us off.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Well, a rose that I've been thinking about is just that this is the first space that I've ever had as a working mom to feel like I can put motherhood before work, even though this podcast is not technically, it's not a job, but it is a priority and it's something that we commit to do every single week. But this is the first space where it's felt like I don't have to feel guilty if I have to go to a doctor's appointment, or I don't have to ask for permission to take time to put Get Mom Ready second. And it's helped me I'm starting to be able to reframe that in my life, my other workspaces as well, where it's like, you know what, like I'm a person first, and being an employee, a worker, whatever you want to call it, is part of who I am. It is not the priority from 8 to 5 every single day. Like it doesn't have to be the thing that demands my attention, for however many hours a day. And so that has just been a personal, huge growth moment for me. That's definitely been a rose. And then, gosh, a thorn has honestly probably been having to go back and hear myself talk.
That's hilarious.
Wow. But you know what? The rose that's come out of that thorn is that I have recognized the amount of likes that come out of my mouth. And it's been like a speech school for me. I have been able to stop myself from using as many filler words. I don't know what they call them. And there I go again. But yeah, I recognize it more and I'm able to pause instead of filling every single space. So that's been a second rose out of the thorn.
That's amazing. What a reframe.
Yeah, there's the gift of Anna's positivity right there. Is like even in her thorn, she finds a rose. I don't know how she does it.
Yeah, in her thorn, she also made an improvement.
Mhm.
Okay, I think Rose, one is like doing something new. Like I think for so long in like work, I mean, I guess I do some new thing, but like trying something new, like learning something new, I think that was a rose of like, oh yeah, like just as I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh yeah, this was a new thing that we all did this year. And so just getting on here and just being like, okay, we're gonna do this. So that I think knowing, and then that gives like me the reminder that like you can try new things, and
Yes.
that's it. You can just try new things. You don't just have to keep doing the same thing over and over again forever. So I think that's something good. I think also another rose would be like taking myself a little less seriously. I'm remembering back, like if I can think back from the beginning, and maybe that's too also getting comfortable. Like we've been doing it for a year, so getting more comfortable on here. But I think I remember like thinking so hard before speaking when we started. Like everything had to be so perfect, or like not profound, but like so aligned with like everything I believe in my life, and so professional and things like that. And so I think as it's gone out, like as we publish more episodes, I'm like, it's not that serious. Like we can just talk, and if I make a mistake, I can backtrack and it's all going to be okay. So I think that's been another rose of like, yeah, you can just be yourself and not take yourself so seriously. The thorn, I think, might be like recognizing my own limits when it comes to time or like desires, like wanting to do a lot of things. So I think out of this, it's like we had lots of ideas, which I think were so amazing, but just recognizing like I only have a certain amount of childcare every week. Like I can only do a certain amount of things. So I think it's like, yeah, in that it's like a thorn because it's a limit, but it also was a positive because there were so many ideas that came out of our time together. Not only just like the recording time, but even like brainstorming time and things like that, or us just meeting. So I think that was probably another thorn of like, get so excited about things and then just having the limits on like how much can you actually work without sacrificing sleep or taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Or family.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I think I have so many roses. Gracious. The first one I think was, as mentioned, the permission to be human on here. And I mean that like, Hannah, I'm thinking of a time that I said something and then backtracked and then was like, wait, I think I said this, but I don't mean it to sound that way or whatever. Like I actively did that and it didn't get edited out. It's like, yep, she had a human moment next. Like, and I think I really feel like that is important in our culture, especially when everything is so edited and so AI'd and so photoshopped and so just literally edited down to a T. I feel like it's so important to have conversations where your humanity is on display and there are tensions to balance or corrections to be made in real time or honesty in a way that I don't know. I just think there's a real fertile ground that this particular podcast laid with our format, our friendship, our relationships. I think it is super important. I mean, completely selfishly, the massive rose for me was to be able to be a part of a passion project where I can be a part of creating something super meaningful without trying to like chase a sales goal. I swear to God, I'm so over selling anything on the internet and selling it all. I'm like, I'm done. I cannot. And so to be able to produce something and to be a part of a professional thing that still allowed for our humanity felt so good. I mean, I'm just like, oh, you know what I mean? Like a breath of fresh air. And I think that would be true whether or not we were like a top hitting podcast and making millions or it was a passion project because of our just general vibe and our values. And so that was really special to be a part of, or has been very special to be a part of. Yeah, it just felt like, oh, pressure's off, baby. Like, it's off. Let's keep it off. And it was so nice. And at the same time, we can wear our professional hats, but we're kind of demonstrating, in my estimation anyway, that we can be humans and professionals at the same time. Like, I kind of remember in the beginning, to your point, Hannah, of like, oh gosh, things have to sound a certain way or sound right or professional or calculated and make sure it all comes out, well. I remember feeling that way, especially because we were offering coaching and I'm like, oh my God, is someone going to want to work with me after they've heard whatever I've talked about in a very human way that I would never bring that kind of frankness into a coaching session, right? Like I wouldn't, there's a lot of what y'all see on here that y'all see because you're my friends and we're processing something very human together that would not because it wouldn't be appropriate to translate that to a coaching session. So I remember kind of struggling with, is somebody even going to trust me because I'm very human on here? But I'm kind of like back to that. We don't have to be so overly edited and so overly coiffed. It's like, you know what? Permission to be human. And humans are professionals. Professionals are humans. Next, like it's okay to be human, you know what I mean? So I think there's something there that I can't quite put words to, but that just feels important that this space offered. I would also say another rose for me. I'll get to a thorn, I guess. I'm like, I don't know. I'm a 7, man. We're just
I know, right?
over here.
Roses like, all are the rose-colored glasses
everywhere, 100%. But I think another rose for me, honestly, is the medium of podcasting. I love yapping. I love it. I'm like, this is awesome. So I'm here for the yapping. I also like writing, obviously, but I really love this. And so that's been really wonderful. I mean, I think probably, honestly, I would agree with you, Holly. The thorn has been, I think, baby, please don't wake up just yet. Oh,
the thorn has been the middle of recording wake up.
That's probably it. I probably need to go get him. But not knowing who our audience is. And I do think because there's so much noise out there, people really, I don't know if they don't think that their voice matters or if it's worth filling in like when we put up a question box on Instagram, Anna puts up a question box, like it really does matter. Like the kind of not, I don't want to like poo-poo on people and say the lack of engagement. It's not that. That's a very harsh way to say it, but like I wish that people really did feel empowered to like, I'm listening and this has been mattering, or this don't do that. Like I love that real-time feedback, because the truth is, like Holly has said, we're trying to like fill a gap in the market, so to speak. We want this to, it's meaningful for us, and we our hope is that it would be meaningful and helpful to other people, not because we're professionals and we know more than you. That's not true. I have barely a toddler, so I'm like very new at the parenting thing. But I do think from like, if you're going to put effort into producing something and thinking about something, you want to know that it's hitting and landing. So I wish that there was there was an easier way, honestly, for us to figure out and talk to who are these people listening, what would keep them listening. Like, I wish we had like a focus group. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think
I'm going to check on it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I think I feel like I already said my roses, of just like the consistency of having this community with you three every week. I so resonate with what you said, Hannah, of like being willing, like, and more than just trying something new or different, but to do it with other people.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like in my life, it usually is like, I'm actually pretty decent at trying the new things. What I'm terrible at is staying consistent with them. And so to have 3 people with me that are doing the new thing for a whole year is like such a remarkable and rare rose. Yeah, I mean, so I feel like I already, not to, restate that. And then I think the thorn for me has been what Meredith said. Yeah, it's just feeling in my gut. And that's why like the pausing has been so hard for me to get to, because I do still believe in my bones, like there's something here, but but having to feel like it's important to sacrifice that for what is viable right now. And that tension of, Meredith, sometimes I feel jealous is too strong of a word, because that's not the right word. I don't think it's jealousy, but like there's like a yearning for me to, you remind me so much of my friend Sarah Robbins. Maybe I'll have to send her the clip to this, but she's an Enneagram 7. And what I love about 7s is just like, it's like this, like everything is fun. And that's something in my life I'm trying to like infuse fun back into things. And so it's like, I wish that I could do something just because it's fun. Unfortunately, in this season, I can't right now. So like that is the thorn, that tension. I think like it feels like a tug of war in my own soul, and has for the past few months of like literally one day I'll wake up and it'll be like, you're passionate about it. You love it. It's worth it. Like do it. And then and then it's like literally the next day is like the tug of war on the other side. That's like, you have limited time and resources right now. You really need to simplify and focus on what can build a business so that you can create margin in the future. Like, so that
viability is real.
Yeah, the tug of war is the thorn. So anyway, that was fun. Good exercise. Rose and thorn. I feel like, isn't that like a big romance movie or book that's going around right now?
No, that's a Court of Thorn and Roses, and we can talk about that later.
Okay,
that's only been mentioned on the podcast 42 times.
Only 42 times. We'd have to have Mary Scott back on, and it would be its own series, honestly.
That is so funny. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you are able to experience through your ears or your eyes, if you're listening or watching this, the gratitude that we have for each of you. And let us know what you think and how we can support you and your mom life and what you're getting ready for as you step into each and every day and season that motherhood brings you. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time on Get Mom Ready.
Yeah. Bye.